think that's a lot of what goes on in a way is writers kind of influencing each other.
Would you say that there's like one or two writers that have kind of influenced you the most, or would you say that they're like your favorite ones to read?
Yeah. Gee, I could have seen that question coming, and I could have, had a quick answer instead of brain freeze, because there's so many.
Yeah.
There are just so many. We could run down the reading list right now of our workshop, and those are writers I admire. As I've said sometimes in workshops, as you write more and more and read more and more over time, your tastes become wider, rather than narrower. So you come to appreciate all different kinds of ways that stories can be told and so forth. So, it's often hard when I read a short story collection these days by somebody I don't know, a writer I don't know. I'm hard pressed to find something I don't like. Really. I mean, it's your taste just becomes more Catholic.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so then kind of going on to talk about like revision, because revision has been such a big aspect.
I wrote a book about it.
That we read last semester. So have you ever, like personally, have you ever written a story and you really liked some aspect about it, but like thinking about the big picture and going through revisions, you realize, I need to cut this character, I need to cut this scene,
sure,
and like
sure.
kind of like what's that like? Like, is it hard to cut those aspects that you really love, but for the story, like how do you kind of do that?
Yeah, no, I love to revise the story. I mean, writing the first draft is always kind of tough, but I love to revise. Just love to revise. So I don't mind cutting out. If I feel that something isn't working, I don't mind cutting it. Okay. Even if it's really nice. I just enjoy the process. Now, of course, it's not always cutting. Sometimes you realize stuff has to be added that isn't there.
Yeah.
Like oftentimes I just kind of, because I don't like to write descriptions, like descriptions of scenes and rooms and things like that. So, but if it's necessary for the story, if I'm revising and I realize, I really need to show the setting here a bit, then okay, buckle down, write the setting, insert it in.
Yeah, would you say that do you have like a favorite aspect of stories to write? Because you said you like aren't a huge fan of description, or you tend to realize you need to add more descriptions in it. Is there another aspect that you tend to like writing more, like dialogue or like?
Oh, I love to write dialogue.
Like that.
Love to write dialogue. Could write dialogue all day.
Okay.
I'm surprised I haven't written a story that's all dialogue yet. So dialogue I love. I love to write dialogue. Description, I don't. It's tougher for. Often, if I'm writing a first draft, I'll skip over this. I'll put a note in the text that I'm writing saying put in later, and just skip to the next thing.
Yeah, that's one way to do it, for sure.
Yep,
do you think that because you said you have like a background in screenplay writing, and because I'm not totally familiar with screenplays, but I feel like they're definitely majority dialogue, like do you think that that's part of why you still like dialogue in writing stories?
I don't think so. I don't think there's really been much influence that screenwriting had on my own writing. I really don't see it.
Yeah.
The influence on my own writing comes from writers I've read. That's where it comes from.
Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, so on Loyola's staff website, I don't know how long ago that bio was written of you.
I don't think I've revised it.
Yeah, there was just one part of it that said, like, you believe that, like, your classes and your students are kind of beginning the long, arduous process of learning how to become magicians.
Oh, yeah.
Do you remember writing that, and do you still
I do remember writing it.
Okay, but do you still kind of adhere to that teaching philosophy?
Yeah,
like, do you still believe that?
Yeah, I probably said it to your workshop. I mean, it's part of my introductory spiel, you know, in the first class of the intro workshop. Yeah, because you know, good fiction writing is magic when it's working, and so you know, it's like students are beginning to learn that process of how to do the magic. Ergo, how to become magicians.
Yeah, it's true.
Apprentice magicians.
Yeah. What would you say, like, do you have a favorite part of teaching the classes and, like, teaching the students how to, like, become magicians and writers?
Well,
do you have a favorite aspect?
I like discussing the stories with the you know, student. I mean, which is the heart of the workshop. I mean, that's what we do, as you know. That's what we do for the most of. And that part I really enjoy. I mean, well, it is the workshop. I love just, you know, hearing what people think, and you know, and then I throw in my 2 cents and you know have a discussion of things. You know, nothing makes me happier than when there's a good story, you know, to talk about, you know, as opposed to a story that say needs a lot of work. You know, then it's kind of like, you know, oh, you know, well, that's also why we're there, is to, you know, help the student whose story needs a lot of work. But it's just always more fun in a way when there's a really good story, and you know, you can kind of celebrate it.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Yeah.
So what do you kind of think of Loyola's, like, English and creative writing program? Because you said, like, after you did your master's, you came here and you've been here ever since.
Here,
so
forever.
yeah, have you kind of helped, like, seen it grow and evolve over the years at all?
Well,
or?
yeah. When I came here, there was just, as I recall, we had creative writing. I mean, that was it. I think it was a creative writing course. You know, so and it had, you did poetry and fiction and whatever else. So I'm trying to remember if there was anything beyond creative writing. I'm not sure. So, but anyway, when I came here, one of the charges really that I was given was to develop our program more. And so, you know, within a couple years, we'd set up the, we didn't kill creative writing right away. What we did was we had intro fiction writing. We added intro fiction writing, intro poetry. And then in a year or so after that, we added the advanced workshops. And then at some point along the way, we killed the creative writing because there was no need for it anymore. And literature from a writer's perspective was added. And then the program just kind of stayed that way for a long period of time until the past, well, I guess 5 years, something like that. You know, we added creative nonfiction and hired, you know, Howie Axelrod, you know, creative nonfictionist. So now we have 3 genres, and the program, you know, has had to change because of that. So, yeah.
Okay, do you see it kind of staying, like, do you think it's at a good spot now? Do you think students are benefiting from it?
Yeah, I think it's, well, we'll have to see. You know, it's at a good spot, I think, as far as the courses and the structure of the program itself. You know, we have to see, one of the things that we've been concerned about a bit is in the advanced workshops, you know, we've had to, every 3rd semester we dropped one of the advanced workshops. Like, I announced to our class, didn't I? Yeah, I did, that we wouldn't be having the advanced fiction workshop next spring. It'll be in the fall, but not in the spring. And, you know, we're doing that with every advanced workshop. You know, there's one semester every 3 semesters that it's dropped. You know, because the student enrollment hasn't been as strong, you know, as in the past to sustain that kind of every semester all the time. And part of this, I believe, is that we offer 3 genres now.
Mm-hmm.
You know, creative nonfiction, poetry, and fiction. So, you know, students they've got one more choice, and so they take that, and you know, and it takes away from the other workshops. And so we'll see. We'll have to see how it all works out.
Do you plan to stay here as of right now, or do you have any kind of like?
Well, I'm
future-
retiring next year.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of next year,
Yeah.
I'll be. Yeah.
Okay.
Remember, I announced this in our workshop.
I didn't know you were retiring. I thought they just weren't having that class. Oh, maybe I missed that part.
Yeah, I think I announced it. Yes, I did. I did. Yeah, I did.
Okay.
Yeah. So, in terms of the advanced fiction workshop, well, and the intro, I guess I'll be teaching an intro fiction too.
Mm-hmm.
But next fall or the last 2 workshops, I'm going to be doing in it.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's exciting. Are you gonna do
Yeah,
anything like different or
Going to read a
special
lot.
with them? Gonna read a lot. There you go. That's a good plan.
Travel.
Okay.
Hopefully.
Hopefully.
As long as my wife and my legs hold out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh no, that'll be good. Okay, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so then just like last question that I have, what advice would you give to an aspiring writer, or what advice do you wish you had when you were first starting out that you would like give to someone now?
Yeah, well, the advice I'd give a beginning writer is, you know, number 1, read a lot. You know, read a lot, read widely,
Mm-hmm.
read a lot. Get involved with a writer's workshop of some kind or another. You know, at university or out in the world, there are lots of, you know, opportunities. Writing workshops out in the greater world, you know. You know, in order to get some feedback on what you're doing. And the third thing would be, when you think you have something good to send out, you know, to send it out and be prepared for rejections, but you know, you got to keep at it, keep writing and keep sending things out, and you know, hopefully things happen, you know, but they don't if you don't do anything. So,
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. All right. I think that's
Pleasure.
all I had for you then.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I hope you.
Okay.
Hope it